Start because I have to leave town. I have to leave town. I'm so excited. Prison is always an experience, and I'm excited about tomorrow's interview, which will be part 2 of a series with Frank Sunius about prison life. It's very fulfilling for me. But today I had a little post on Facebook, so I'm borrowing from the Pearls of Rumi Facebook page, and it had been shared by my friend Elizabeth. And it made me think, okay, what's it all about? Which is what I chose for a title in my little article today. And today I'm going to read. So yes, you will see me reading from my screen here and putting in a couple little inserts, but you can read the whole piece in the article. I've put it in as a little quote and let you know where it came from. And I'm sure everyone has heard of Rumi. But this is, have you ever thought about this? In 100 years, now somebody has inserted like in 2123, 100 years, we will all be buried with our relatives and friends. And I know, again, in today's world, we could be cremated, and even though supposedly it would be illegal, I'm not sure about that, but we can be scattered to the winds in so many ways. But anyhow, yes, in 100 years, we're all going to be buried, shuffling around somewhere. Well, I'm hanging around to 120, but I've got a good chunk of that done. You know what I'm talking about. And here is the thoughts from this Rumi article and what I want you to be thinking about today, and then I have to leave. Strangers will live in our homes we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today. All our possessions will be unknown and unborn. Now, I'm not sure about what this unborn is, but our possessions, the things that we could have had, it won't matter anymore. That's what I'm taking from the unknown and the unborn. The possessions will be unknown because in many ways this is me. I can look at antiques, and when my families came from Africa and they came from countrysides and still use the grinding that we would have used over 100 years ago, and it still works today for so many communities. It's really amazing. So it's really like, what's it all about? What's it all about? So strangers will live in our homes we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today. All our possessions will be unknown and unborn, including the car we spent a fortune on and will probably be scrap, preferably in the hands of an unknown collector. Our descendants will hardly know who we were. Isn't that gets us back to reality, doesn't it? Our descendants will hardly know who we were. I mean, I'm blessed to remember my grandmas. And my grandpa, the one grandpa, died before I was born. So yes, that's gone. And I'm very much like my Grandma Wickens. And my sister is very much like my Grandma Reed. And so we remember them, but our children don't. Our children remember my parents, our parents, their grandmas and grandpas, but they don't get to know beyond that unless we keep it alive. And so therefore, I know when I look at my daughter and my son, and I see so much of their grandparents, my parents, in them. So I know it's in there, but we don't know. We don't realize it. We could look at who we are and how we behave and all of that, and we could get an inkling, but only if we stop to get to know ourselves. So our descendants will hardly know who we were, nor will they remember us. How many of us know our grandfather's father? Exactly what I was talking about. After we die, we will be remembered for a few more years. Then we are just a portrait on someone's bookshelf. And a few years later, our history, photos, and deeds disappear in history's oblivion. Whew, Nothing like getting right to the root of it, isn't it? Frank Sunius, you and I are going to be talking about what really matters tomorrow and for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And yeah, what we're causing and changing in our lives is not going to matter except in our energy and vibration and what we put out and how we touch people. And that will live on. I'm giving myself goosebumps. We, you and I, in this form won't even be memories. If we paused one day to analyze these thoughts, just one day to analyze these thoughts, perhaps we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream to achieve it all really was. So we have to be careful what the dream is that we're achieving. My dream is to travel and spread my wisdom around the world to help people change their mindsets. And someone else is going to buy the ticket because I need to go business class for these old hips now. But that's what my dream is. It's not about a fancier house, even though the house would be happy if it had a paint job. And, and I've got my old ancient kitchen counter. Who cares? But, if I had that extra abundance, it would be nice to get that fixed up. You see, would be nice, but it's not what I'm driving for. What I'm driving for is to travel and change mindsets and awaken communities and help people live their lives happy with where they're at today, dreaming and moving towards where they want to be, but happy today. So back to my reading. If we could only think about this, surely our approaches, our thoughts would change. We would be different people, always having more. No time for what's really valuable in this world. I'd change all of this to live and enjoy the walks I've never taken. These hugs I didn't give. These kisses for our children and our loved ones. These jokes we didn't have time for. Did you get that? When we're laying on a deathbed looking back, we're going to regret or remember those things that really mattered. Do you want to live in regrets, or do you want to be with the people that really matter and to live the way that really matters? To live and enjoy the walks I've never taken? Stop it. These hugs I didn't give? Oh no, I pass around lots of those and so many more to give when I go to Uganda again and I want to go to India again. And I've got friends, so many friends all over the world. I want to go and see them and hug them and love them and have jokes in person with them. The jokes we didn't have time for. Those would certainly be the most beautiful moments to remember. After all, they would fill our lives with joy. I'm here to tell you, I'm a live, living experiment of I can be thrilled and happy right here, laughing and enjoying, and still be dreaming. And yes, I'm traveling and I'm changing lives. Yeah, that's what my dream is. And we waste it day after day with greed and intolerance. That's what it says. We do. If we look at the world and we have to have this, have to have that, and got to go there, and got to kill ourselves to do this, stop it. Stop it and enjoy today. You can still dream. You can still go for it. Because, that was the end of the reading, end of the quote. My part is that our words matter so much. The words matter, what we speak to ourselves, what we put out in the world. Our words matter, and that's why I'm passionate about this speak up coaching that I'm in. Speak up. It's about what words are coming out, how we're feeling, how we're grounded, how we're confident. Well, when you're working with me, you'll have a laugh too, because I'll go, boop, what was that? Our words matter, our energy matters, our legacy is how we made others feel. Choose wisely. Have a wonderful day. Please take some time to reflect on today's reflection. Come join me on Mondays at noon for discussion. Watch for tomorrow when we are doing our second in a series with Frank Zunius around Sandra's prison, Frank's prison. All the best, everyone.